Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of FPL Affairs, the podcast that discusses our 9-month long affair with FPL, including the ins and outs that keep us awake at night. In this latest team selection video, FPL Weasel shares his free hit draft that he would consider using if he had his chip left. Our top 3 transfers in and out for each position, and what we have planned for our own teams. Before we get started, please click like to that video and subscribe to the channel for all our existing content, and to receive, if you click the bell, the notification for the videos we post before the end of the season. Anyway, let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Kayo Saka. That is a diamond of a goal.
Greetings, YouTubers, from me, Matt, aka the FPL Affairs veteran, bringing to you our Gameweek 36 preview. We got something fresh to get started, which is about the HARDCORES League update and Cup, and going through with transfer plans for the last few weeks, whether to concentrate on chasing rank or holding rank, and what exactly that is if you're not too sure. Anyway, let's get cracking. All right, our Game Week 36 transfer plans and team selection, starting with Game Week 35 mini leagues and cups going into Game Week 36. So chasing or holding rank, and what that means. Chasing is basically if you're not happy with your rank and you're trying to gain and catch your mini league leaders or your overall rank, whatever your target or purpose is. And to make up that points, you're going to need to go a little bit away from the template, whether that captaincy or with transfers. If you're looking to hold rank in your mini league or you're content with your overall rank, then you're looking more like transferring in highly owned players with high expected ownership and captaining popular captaincy shouts for each week. To help explain that possibly a little bit better, we're going to use my data from Game Week 35. So if you look in the image, I scored 52 points and I was 3 points above my safety score, which gave me a rank gain of 12,000 places. Now, if you look at the tables, I'm 14 points behind 100k. So if you shared that 14 points across the 3 game weeks, so make it easy on maths, say it's 15 points shared across 3, which means I really need about on average a 5-point green arrow, 5 points above my safety score each of the remaining 3 game weeks, which is doable. It's achievable. I've got a relatively safe-ish template squad at the moment, so I'm currently thinking if I want to push for that 100k rank, who do I go with for captaincy, and where do I go with transfers, which will come to what particular transfers that I'm considering will be later in the video. As it stands, I'm chasing that 100k and thinking of probably staying reasonably safe, maybe a slightly differential captaincy, and then see where I am going into the last week. And if going into the last week I haven't gained on 100k as much as I'd hoped, then I may do a bit more risky decisions with the transfers and captaincy in game week 38. So you'll also notice in the table on the right, which I've got highlighted image taken from live FPL. The 100k threshold is 2,343 points. And the next level up above that is 50k, and I am 42 points behind that. So that might be a bit of a stretch. And with only 3 transfers remaining, I'd have to go really differential with those transfers and also captaincy. But those could majorly backfire. And because of a terrible start, I really don't want to fall out of the top 150k, I think. So with that in mind, I'm going to be relatively safe-ish to make sure those people behind me and I don't lose. If I do get a red arrow, I don't lose too many places. How that impacts my mini league, because that's looking at my overall rank. And with the mini league, I'm going to use the FPL Hardcores or FPL Affairs admin league table, which currently stands with the admin combined, admins assemble at the top. I am down in 5th position at the moment. I am 15 points, coincidentally, 15 points behind FPL Affairs, the master, Mr. Jack Lucas, Small Bone Big Dreams. He's just inside the top 100k. But the difference is, comparing our two teams, is they are actually quite different, because so for that, I don't necessarily need to look at Jack's team and say, oh, he's got those players, so I need to either take players out of my team that he owns and replace them with players he doesn't own to try to then gain on him. I think our teams are different enough that I've got the chance of doing that, unless Forest keep a clean sheet, because I've got a suspicion he's got at least one Forest defender. So that will be chasing him. Anyway, I hope that kind of makes a bit of sense about chasing and holding rank, because I'm going to move on from this league to the FPL Hardcores League in general and shout out to the league leaders in there. So at the moment, storming streets ahead is credit to Yoshi Kazama. I hope so. Well done to you. Keep going. And I'd certainly say you're heavy favourite to win the league this season. So I hope that is sufficient target and happy for you. Haris Razak is maintaining his spot in second, 10 points clear of Neil Hamill. Sorry, I hope that's right. Who's 10 points back. In third, Neil alongside Adam, who's just 2 points behind him, had reasonable game weeks and both leapfrogged Mike Hart, him dropping down into 5th. In 6th spot is the first admin team representative, which is the collective FPL Hardcores Admins Assemble, having 18 points back on Mike Hart, so we might have to think about how differential we're going. The top individual admin member is in 7th, Mick Shannon. He's on really great roll of green arrows at the moment, so round of applause to you, Mick. Chase Jaycox with a slight drop this week, dropping down to 8th. Joel Joy down into 9th, and Mr. Crystal Balls, Kieran, falling from grace rapidly. His crystal ball is most definitely broken, propping up the bottom of the top 10. So we shall see, will he continue to drop, or will he manage to turn it around and get a new crystal ball so he can rise back up? We shall see. Anyway, moving on, we're getting into the nitty-gritty last 8 of the FPL Hardcores Cup. This is there's some really lower ranked teams propping up and a good mix in there. We've got our last individual admin member, FPL Weasel Pool, whose current ranking in the league, the Hardcore League, is 171st. He's up against 13th placed Omar Sadie. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Second quarter final is all very tight affair. Emmanuel Morrison FC facing AFC Bellion manager Ben Gilbert, and those two are really close in the league, 61st and 63rd respectively. A third quarter final between Inter Tilton, Andy Wood, ranked 265th in the Hardcores League, playing Mick Daly, who is 79th, Mickey's Marbles. And the final quarter-final is Jamie Cunningham's ABCDE FC, ranked 320th, playing highest ranked Admins Assemble, the FPL Hardcores, still in with a fight and challenging for that cup, the FPL official Hardcores Cup, and the Admins Assemble are also going for the Admins Cup as well. The Cup quarterfinals is built up between Mick Shannon in second, playing off against Jack Lucas in fourth, I think it is now, we said. Myself, I'm facing off against the FPL Affairs apprentice Martin Murray, and the final quarter final is FPL Weasel. In this one, again, the only one in both that remains in both, apart from the combined Admins Assemble. Paul is up against the Facebook group creator, Mr. Lewis Greening. So, will he actually make an appearance? We don't know. He seems to have gone AWOL. He never appears in the admin chat. It's just once in a blue moon, and nobody sees a blue moon. Rarely. And that's going off the topic. So, that's the update on the mini leagues, which is really complicated saying by yourself. It seems really dull. We're moving into Gameweek 36. Moving on to it, we have got reading fixtures, Saturday's fixtures: Wolves at home to Brighton, Southampton at home to Man City, Fulham at home to Everton, Ipswich at home to Brentford, Bournemouth at home to Aston Villa. And on Sunday, we've got Newcastle, Chelsea, Manchester United, West Ham, Forest, Leicester, Spurs, Crystal Palace, and Liverpool, Arsenal. The admins again have been talking and have created a free hit draft for Game Week 36. If you're using your free hit, we've put in Sells at home to Leicester as the first of our Forest triple up, alongside Nico Williams in defence and Chris Wood up front. Rounding off the starting back three, we've got Vardiol away to Southampton and Brentford's Collins. 7 assists this season, combined with a few goals. Brentford away to Ipswich. On the bench, the defenders on the bench, we've rounded off with Aït-Nouri and Munoz simply because of their attacking threat in recent fixtures. In midfield, Salah because he's Salah, and Burmo away to Ipswich, who's got the captaincy armband. Jarrod Bowen of West Ham, KDB of Man City, and Sarr of Crystal Palace. Up front, Wissa, Marmoush, and Wood are our three there. Backup goalkeeper on the bench to Sells was Nick Pope, although that was very much a arguments. Couldn't agree, so I just left Pope on there. That's how we look, and let's see how it compares to Fantasy Football Hub's AI. They've gone with Flecken and Stoller. Something, Leicester goalkeeper. That's correct. They've gone with the Leicester goalkeeper on the bench, with Brentford's Flecken in goal. Gvardiol, same as us. They've gone double Forest defence in Murillo and Milenkovic. So 2 Forest defenders representing, but they've gone with a different 2 to who we went with. Salah in midfield as us, and Burmo as us. Really don't like this combo, how the AI has gone with Garnacho and Ahmad. Seriously, Manchester United don't give two hoots about the league. Why? Who chose this algorithm? Like, it's also gone with the risk of throwing out captaincy for captain Erling Haaland when he hasn't played any minutes yet since returning from injury. He's out they've gone with, and Cunha, good shout. Wolves have got some good fixtures, and I think most people will not be going there for one reason or another, largely the uncertainty of minutes, I think, because fixtures aren't too terrible. And on the bench, they've gone with Dango of Bournemouth, Collins, who we chose, and then Johnson of Ipswich. So, yeah, not really got much to say other than I'd like to say I'm speaking on behalf of the admin team that we're not too sure, particularly that Manchester United double up and Haaland starting. No. Let's move on quickly. Alrighty. Our Gameweek 36 transfer top threes coming in position by position. We have got Matt Sells, Flecken, and Allison for us. Top three keepers if you're looking for a keeper. Defenders, Gvardiol, because he's the best defender in the game at the moment. He's looking like he may well be playing left back for at least some of the remaining three fixtures. We'll get a lot more attacking threat. Forest defender, primarily for their next game against Leicester, rather than the remaining three games as a whole, as a package, which is why we've got Ruben as third choice. Looking at data on expected clean sheets and expected points and all that palaver, which you'll get from more for alternative sources, like if you look on Fantasy Football Hub and Fantasy Football Scout and those. That's where we've collected data from. Midfield and Burmo and KDB were our top choices in. Slightly more differential, Morgan Gibbs White if you want to invest in Forest. Alternatively, if you want to go more budget, the differential from Brentford of Kevin Schade after his 2 goals in their 4-1 win over Manchester United. Up front, Wissa keeps our top spot. Wood, we're a bit uncertain with. And the reason that is Forest's data attacking threat has dropped down in recent weeks. Wood himself hasn't been returning as well as he was before he got injured, but we've still got him on there. Watkins is third choice, completing a www. But www. Can potentially be questionable because of Watkins' minutes. He was brought off despite Rashford's injury. Watkins was brought off on 70 minutes. So some people will be reluctant to go there. I'm reluctant to go there personally with my forward transfer. So those are the top 3 ins for each. Our outs, we've only really got one goalkeeper, which is Sanchez, because Chelsea's fixtures are hardest. Defenders, Livramento, Newcastle's fixtures. It's going to be tough. 3 good defences we're facing, which is, I'll come on to Murphy in a second, which is why. And Livramento's lately he's been getting into the right attacking areas, but he hasn't necessarily got a lot of actual assists on record. Excuse me. So I think Livramento's got minimal chance of keeping a clean sheet and unlikely for attacking returns. So I would think if you are going to invest in one of the defenders in, Livramento and Cucurella would be 2 of the ones that I'd be looking at moving out. How that ties in with our recommended outs for midfield, Murphy, attacking returns have dried up a little bit, and with Gordon back from injury, Gordon's always going to come off the bench. Murphy's the one that's been sacrificed. Barnes has been favoured, and he's the one getting closer to 90 minutes Murphy started coming off, his minutes have got less and less and decreased. In the last game, he actually came off before the hour mark for a point, and within a couple of minutes, Gordon had earned the penalty. So Murphy's minutes are very much a doubt, as are Marino's for Arsenal. And the spoiler alert, admins assemble team have transferred out Marino in favour of KDB because we were concerned over Marino's minutes, and we do. That's, as a team, being quite a differential, going a little bit away from trend. But there's going away from trends, and then there's having players that you don't know are going to play or not. So that's why we took Marino out, and Rashford injured. Villa have got Manchester United to play in their final fixture, but Rashford's not allowed to play in that either, so it's touch and go. He might have game week 37 left, he might have none. And forwards, Raul, all returns have dried up, seemingly. Strand Larsen is flagged with injury, and Mateta reduced minutes and has not looked convincing at all. And at the moment, there are lots of attacking options we can turn to, and Mateta is one that I am seriously considering transferring out this week. But as for our own bus teams, let's go with Paul's first.
I plan to roll my transfer this week. So I'm playing 3-4-3 with Pope in goal against Chelsea at home, who I think will score more points against Raya away to Liverpool. My back three will be Milenkovic at home to Leicester, Muniz away to Tottenham, who I think will play the reserve team, and Gardefeu away to Southampton, who are obviously relegated, and I think a clean sheet will be possible there. My midfield four would be Rodgers away to Bournemouth, who's this season's Saka, who's only missed one game. Bowen away to Man United, who again I think will rest some players after Europe, and he's in fantastic form at the moment. Bowen will also be my vice captain. I plan to captain in Burmo away to Ipswich. Obviously, they're playing a relegation team. He's the second highest scorer in FPL this season in the form of his life. It's a no-brainer. And I've taken the captaincy of Salah at home to Arsenal after his 4 blanks in 6 games. And my front three will be Watkins away to Bournemouth, Mamouche away to Southampton, who I hope will play still with Haaland possibly back, and Mateta away to Tottenham, who I think will be playing the reserve defence. And my bench, as I said, is Raya away to Liverpool, Odegaard away to Liverpool, who I think will be rotated after Europe this week. Digne away to Bournemouth, who again's a rotation risks, and hopefully Hudson doesn't do what he did to me last week at home to Aston Villa and gets a goal or a clean sheet. If I do change my mind this week and decide to use my free transfer, I'll either change Mamouche to Wizard, who's got Ipswich away, Fuller at home and Wolves away, or to Woods, who's got Leicester at home, West Ham away and Chelsea at home. And also Mamouche could get dropped for Haaland. Or I'm not really happy with my keepers, so I might change Rara or Pope to Flacken, who's got Ipswich away, Fulham at home and Wolves away.
Some interesting thoughts. Now, if you were looking at the screen and the image of the team didn't sort of match up with what FPL Weasel was describing, is that the Fantasy Football Hub's bus team from his? They've put on what the starting lineup and benchings based on their expected points. So they're expecting Raya to be in goal, a back three of Gvardiol, Milenkovic and Huyson. In midfield, captain in Salah alongside Mbermo, Bowen and Odegaard. With the front three, Marmouche, Watkins and Mateta, therefore benching Pope, Rodgers, Munoz and Digne. Whereas Paul reviewing back on his, he's actually planning on playing Pope, Rodgers, and Munoz, and benching his Arsenal asset and Hoyson of Bournemouth. So very interesting, which makes me think who the AI recommended he brought in. And they actually recommended, Paul, that you sell Watkins and replace him with Cunha. So not on your watch that you've mentioned. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on that, had we not had the technical problems with connections and schedule. Anyway, looking at mine, Fantasy Football Hub has laid mine out as Raya in goal, a back three of Vardiol, Munoz, and Kivior, captain in Salah, in a midfield with Burmo, Bowen, and Sarr. Up front, Isak, Weiss, Marmoush, and Mateta. Therefore, on the bench, Martinez, Rodgers, Konsa, and Bradley. Looking at this, how the AI has come up with, I am not keen on Arsenal double up defence at all. So, like last week, I'm in the double Arsenal defence or double Villa defence or one of each, being Raya and Konsa or Martinez and Kivior. In all honesty, I'm not feeling great towards the defence at the moment, which is why I'm considering a defensive transfer. So I've got one free transfer and 3.9 million in the bank. That's why I'm considering a defensive one. As to which that would be, Munoz I quite like against Tottenham, away to Tottenham. Guardiola's the best in the league, and Kivior I will definitely want for that Southampton game week 38, which would mean it would have to be either Konza or Bradley that I'd take out, and it would be most probably for either a Forest defender, most likely Williams, or it would be Aït-Nouri for his attacking threat, because Wolves, their fixtures aren't too terrible in the remaining 3 games. So yeah, the Aït-Nouri or Williams would be whoever comes in. Midfield, I'm happy with Salah and Burmo, Bowen, Sarr. He was greatest underachiever of the week against Nottingham Forest, so I'm happy to have him and play him. Bench Rodgers away to Bournemouth, because I think Sarr's fixture of away to Tottenham, away to Spurs is a lot better because of Spurs' involvement in Europe. Mateta's minutes and performances are a concern for me. Marmoush's minutes with Haaland's return also to a degree, but as Haaland hasn't got any minutes yet, I'm confident Marmoush starts against Southampton. What it boils down to for me is if we were somewhere in the middle of the season, so in the game week 20 to 27 sort of period, I'd highly consider that defensive transfer. But because we've got only 3 free transfers left for those final 3 game weeks, and chasing 100k rank to break into that top 100k, I think I'm veering more towards spending these transfers, targeting fixtures and more attacking, more members of my squad, more in the midfield and forward line. And with this week's fixtures, it's unsurprisingly the template move of Mateta to Wissa is what I'm looking at mostly. I'd say percentage terms, or well, that's my most likely move. Mateta to Wissa, because Wissa and Burmo double up worked well for me earlier in the season. And then hold my breath and hope that Jamie Vardy gets a goal for Leicester against Forest. And then it'll be all happy days. And I can laugh at Mick Shannon again for doubling up on Nottingham Forest. But then in all likelihood, it's probably be him celebrating a double Forest clean sheet, or even triple Forest, if he's still got that, or if he even went that. Anyway, I'm going off the point. So let's see who Fantasy Football Hub recommends I bring in for my transfer. Whoa, they are predicting I remove Connor Bradley and replace him with Trent Alexander-Arnold. No, thank you. Not even going to bother discussing it at all or consider it. So there's a whistle tour on updating on chasing and holding rank. Personally, I am chasing the 100k, but staying relatively safe until game week 38. And if I need to go heavily risky in that, I don't know. But let us know in the comments below, what are your plans at the moment? Are you chasing mini league rank? Are you at the top of your mini league trying to hold rank? What are your plans? Are you looking at the teams of those around you? What's your plans for the last 3 game weeks? Let us know, as said, in the comments below or on x.com. Lay any comments or make posts in our Facebook page, Facebook group, FPL Affairs. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FPL Affairs for all our existing content and what we plan for the last few weeks, as well as what we're going to do in the summer, and our Spotify channel link, gibberish, found below and in the description. All that's left to say, thanks again, FPL Weasel, for your insights and your sharing your plans for the weekend. And it is quite interesting that you're going rogue away from the Fantasy Football Hub AI. So, final thought from me, as usual, keep your FPL affairs under wraps until the deadline on Saturday, and then post quite freely and openly all over social media your teams, and fingers crossed for green arrows towards your mini league ranks. Bye bye everybody, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thumbs up.